beautiful celestial beings. If you are new, welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. My name is Celeste Simone, and I offer pick a card tarot readings just like this one, as well as other spiritual guidance videos. So I'm so happy that you have found my video. I am going to tap into some messages from the universe all about your future child or children, depending on what the cards say. So if you are interested in finding out more about what your future child will be like, maybe even what their career will be like, we'll have to find out in this pick a card reading. And on top of my regular readings on this channel, I also offer extended readings on my Vimeo channel, which you can reach by going to the description box and clicking on the link below. And on my extended readings, I go into a complete Celtic Cross Tarot spread, and we also look at additional oracle cards as well. So if that is something you are interested in, after you watch your pile reading, then you can head on over to the extended reading and get even more details and go into even more depth as to what your future child will be like. So I have 4 piles for you today. The first pile has a bloodstone on it. The second pile has fluorite. The third pile is red tiger's eye. And then the fourth pile is a labradorite stone. So once you are ready, you may even want to pause the video once you see the close-up of each of these piles. Take a few deep breaths, see which one you are most drawn to, and then once you're ready, head on down to the description box where I have the timestamps for you guys to head right on over to your specific reading depending on which pile you choose. So I am super excited to share this with you guys, and I will see you over in your reading. Hello, all my beautiful celestial beings who chose pile 1. I have your pile right here for you with the bloodstone on it. So let's not waste any more time and let's dive into the tarot cards and see what they have to say. Okay, we have 8 of Cups. We have the 10 of Swords. We have the Strength card. And we also have the Ace of Swords. Okay, I'm seeing group 1 that your future child will be very strong-minded and strong-willed, and that may actually cause you guys to get into some conflicts from time to time where you have maybe a stubborn child. Maybe you yourself are a little stubborn when it comes to kind of the way things should be, but if not, either way, this child is going to have a really strong will and a determination to actually go in a very strong direction in their life. So they may be the type of person who has an interest and they cannot focus on anything but reaching that goal or that interest throughout their lives. So your child could be an air sign or have a lot of air in their chart that is actually directing them forward. They aren't afraid to speak their minds. They have the Strength card. So they could even be a Leo or a fire sign with this type of energy of kind of being very strong-minded and strong-willed, where they aren't going to let setbacks or things get in their way of reaching their final destination. So it's also important too, though, because they can get caught up in their mind a lot. So it's also important that when they are feeling low to really support them and let them know that this will pass, you know, that if they get into a dark headspace where they feel like maybe they've, you know, run into a lot of roadblocks, it's also important to recognize that they are just kind of getting up in their head and that they need to get back into focus in the angle and the bigger picture as well, because they may actually also be the type of child that gets caught up into the finer details of things and can get caught up into too much focus at times where they're just focusing on maybe some things that went wrong. So it's really going to be important for them to have somebody to remind them of how far they have come, how much they have already done in their life depending on where they are at, so that they can kind of move forward. Because they may, although they are very strong-willed, they can also be over-analytical at times, either about themselves, about their accomplishments, or about like where they are going. So they could lose sight of their end goal if they get too caught up and wrapped up into those nitty-gritty details. This is also a really great attribution to have, because they are able to really sit down and focus on little details and get caught up in the details, so that they probably would make some really good computer engineers or computer science majors for some of them, not all of them, but because they have that detailed analytical type mind and they're very smart, they do like to kind of focus on very detailed things. I'm seeing for many of you guys. But also, this does not mean that they are not very sensitive, and they actually will probably need help moving out of things. So they may need help transitioning from maybe some, like I said before, like getting into a headspace that kind of brings them down. They get too caught up in the analytical side of things. But here's the thing. They have the strength card. So their strongest suit is to overcome obstacles in their life, and they are going to have this inner strength that really other people around them look up to and find very admirable. But that may cause them to hide some of their mental thought processes, you know, so they may kind of put on this display for other people of being very strong and very direct, and also very confident in themselves, which is really great for them to be taking on leadership roles. However, you know, make sure that they are expressing themselves and they're sharing with other people how they are feeling at times when, you know, they are just kind of like caught up in the details and not really seeing the big picture. But I will say that they ultimately continue to kind of pick up the pieces and move forward. And that's a really great positive that they have about their personality type, is this inner strength to pick up the pieces and move forward. But of course, that is also going to come from your help and from your guidance and like your support throughout their childhood to raise them into these strong individual people who are independent and capable of being leaders in their careers or just in their life in general. So let us take a look at your oracle cards for your future child. We have integrity. Drop the things that offend your soul. Embrace your truth. It's your life. Let no one live it for you. So as I mentioned, this is a child who is very focused on integrity. So they get into basically analytical debates in their mind of right and wrong in many ways too. And they also may have a tendency to kind of hold themselves at a higher standard. So like I said, they can get caught up in their thoughts from time to time, where they may actually be debating within themselves to maintain integrity throughout their decision-making process. So they're definitely logical in a lot of ways. They may hide their emotions though behind this kind of layer of logic and confidence, which is just kind of their personality type for many of you guys. That's just how they're going to kind of work things out, is through their mind and through fact checking and being very logical and analytical. And to them, they very much have high values. So with integrity, they are constantly thinking of, you know, what is the right thing to do versus the wrong thing, and they want to make sure that they are kind of meeting and living up to their expectations of themselves, which can sometimes be a little too high. But these are just the differences between kind of their strengths and some of their blockages that they may find as they are growing and kind of maturing throughout their life. So next we have mercy. Let compassion fill your world. Offer kindness to all living things. What you give, you also receive. So this is a very strong-minded individual, but they also have this compassion. We have this Eight of Cups energy here, where they also can feel very deeply. And I think they also do very much empathize with other people. And I think they are going to use their strength. You know, they are going to use their strength, their power, and their leadership to really do what is right for themselves and for others. And they're going to empathize with others and use this quality of mercy, you know, and compassion for other people. So they're going to use their talents, and they're going to very much, I see them as the type of person who kind of stands up for the little guy, who maybe the person who isn't able to kind of speak their truth, or who is maybe more quiet. They want to be the ones to kind of stand up and say, hey, this is an injustice, and they want to set things right. And lastly, we have the Oracle card, Confidence. And this is kind of what I was saying before. It says, be bold, rise up and stand tall. Feel the fire in your soul. Wow. Yep. So this person, your future child, you know, they are going to have this confidence. Sometimes they may actually kind of get into fights with you, maybe because they feel like they need to be heard and they are very opinionated at times. But also, this is a you know, child who is going to grow up into a person who has a very strong confidence in their presence and in the way they present themselves to others and how they kind of speak to others. And this is going to earn them a lot of respect because I see that they are coming from a place of mercy and integrity. So I'm super excited. I hope these messages were helpful to you, group one. As I mentioned before, we're going to continue this reading in my extended readings, which are linked in the description box below. So if you would like to join me for some more details with the tarot cards and oracle cards, I have a few more here to take a look at, then please join me over there. But otherwise, please give this video a big thumbs up if you did enjoy it. Comment down below, let me know if this was helpful to you or what your thoughts are. And also, if you have not done so already, please subscribe to my channel and join our family of celestial beings. I would so much love that. And while you're at it, please hit that notification bell so you're notified every time I post every Monday, Thursday, and Saturday. So I hope to see you guys back again soon, but bye for now. Hello, my beautiful celestial beings who chose pile number 2. I have your pile right here with the fluorite stone on it. So let us just dive in and see what the tarot cards have to say. We have the 2 of Pentacles. We have the 3 of Pentacles. We have the 5 of Swords. We have the Page of Wands finally. Okay, so right off the bat, I'm getting a very athletic vibe from these cards. Now, I am seeing somebody who maybe likes to compete in a healthy way. And, you know, they like to probably take part in sports for many of you. I'm also seeing that they are creative. They have a creative side to them as well. They may actually enjoy music or other artistic things, but they're not the type of creative who is maybe necessarily like introverted. They also like to kind of perform in a lot of ways. So some of them may be actors or aspiring actors, somebody who likes to perform and be in front of people. I'm seeing that with the 2 of Pentacles, that even though the Pentacles has like a different energy, like an earthly energy about them, I'm seeing as though they are also kind of very performance based and they don't mind kind of competing with other people for attention. Like they kind of like the thrill of that. So I'm also seeing with the 3 of Pentacles that people are really going to enjoy them, but it's important to really encourage their confidence here and give them a kind of outward praise, because that is something that maybe to some of them may be a bit of a blockage, because actually what I'm seeing in some cases, it could cause them to maybe care a little too much about kind of how they are being received by everybody else. So they're going to kind of try extra hard to get people's attention and to know that they are kind of like worthy of praise. So that is something that they are going to be working through in their lifetime. But they are really creative, really kind of outgoing people who enjoy being in the public eye, whether that is like through sports, through being an athlete, through being an actor, or some kind of a performer. And I'm still seeing that for many of them. I'm getting the vibe that they need a little encouragement to maybe work on their studies or work on homework while they are at school. You know, it may be hard for them to kind of sit still for a lot of them. I'm just seeing like this action and this movement and this kind of performance energy for them. Many of them I think are fire signs because of that, because they like to be kind of social or like the funny one in the group. I think they may find it difficult, or they may constantly be balancing or struggling with trying to actually like get work done versus like having time to play. So they always kind of get caught in this like work versus play. So they probably are going to need some support in, you know, remaining focused and, you know, being able to kind of sit down and do some of the work that has to be done, whether it's like homework or something like that. It's just like they have to create a balance in their life of the work and having to put aside time to like get their homework done, for example, versus like having fun and playing sports, for example, or having like extracurricular activities to really keep them feeling engaged and excited about, you know, their daily life, because they can probably get bogged down. I'm feeling they'll get bogged down by like the daily routine, you know, if they are like, okay, why do I have to keep doing homework every single day? It is so boring. Or, you know, even this is just kind of like a personality type for them, where they really just want to be like out there having fun, and they won't always, and initially they won't see like the value in sitting down, doing their work, you know, focusing on one thing at a time. So that's just something that they have to kind of find balance in their life to do, and they may need help, you know, being reminded like why it is important for them to kind of take some time out and sit, do homework or whatever they need to do. Maybe it's like clean their room. And then like having the time to really get the rest of their energy out playing sports, because they do like to be kind of part of a group who sees them, and who they like to like be in front of a crowd as well, but they like to be part of a group of people who are fun and outgoing like they are. So I see many of them, you know, for your future child is going to be more of an extrovert, I feel like. And if not, either way, they are going to have like this creativity as well to them. And so it may not come out as sports, but they may maybe go into like the theater group, or they may sing or dance or perform musically. But they are going to want to really put a lot of work into that side of things. So it's harder to get them to like work and focus on the things that are just not as fun to them. And that is just because they are a creative personality type. And so they just need like a little extra push to do that. Now I am seeing for some of them, they may, now this could just be a blockage for some people, this may not be for all of them, but some of your children are maybe going to be a little more confrontational with people, because if they are more outgoing and they do like the limelight, they may want to kind of push other people away. This is an extreme for people who really have, you know, for those of them who have like a blockage in this area, and it may not even be an extreme thing, it may just be something that they have to kind of work on within themselves, and that's why they kind of came here to work through this. But it's almost a tendency with the Five of Swords, I'm seeing a tendency to almost want to kind of push other people away, because they're afraid that if somebody else kind of makes it to the, you know, as the lead role or as the quarterback, you know, or the captain, like if somebody else makes it there and they don't, they get very jealous maybe, or they maybe have a tendency to really want to be the first and the best at everything, which is also a really great quality to have that kind of motivation. But of course, you know, if it can get too far and they don't really understand that within themselves, and not to say that they have to like push that away or deny that in themselves, but it's really about being aware of it and knowing that they're human, you know. This is part of, everybody has their own blockages, their own shadow work to be done. So I'm seeing that for them, some of them may have that kind of a shadow where they always want to be the best. But it's important for them to know, you know, they can get the recognition that they are looking for. It just doesn't always happen maybe the way they want to. So if they don't, you know, get the role that they want, they may feel very discouraged. And it's important for them to know that even if they, you know, get discouraged about something, about not getting what they really wanted, it doesn't mean that they are not good, or it doesn't mean that they are not still valuable. It just means that, you know, their path is going in a different direction, or maybe they get another role that is more important for them to be in, you know, whatever that may be, like a position, even at work, like it could be if they don't get the promotion and they feel very undervalued. So it's important for them to learn how to deal with that and just be self-aware of that kind of coming up for them, because we all have these things, these blockages we are working on as human beings, you know, we're all flawed. But this is just something, this is just an aspect that I was tapping into so that you guys can be aware if, you know, this is your future child. So okay, so let's take a look at the oracle cards. Manifestation. Your dreams have untold energy. Open the door and let them live. Desire and belief are your power. So I'm really seeing with manifestation that these are the kind of people who, once they have something set in their minds, they're really going to be good at bringing it into their life, because they almost have this one set mind. So I said they are performers and they really kind of go out there. So they're performers and they're really outgoing and they like to be the center of attention. Now, because of this, they may also have kind of like an all or nothing type of mindset. So they're really good at manifesting things because they kind of don't see it any other way, you know, so they'll see it a certain way in their mind and they'll know that, you know, I can do that, or I can go for that and I can make this happen. So they're going to be very good at manifestation. But as I mentioned before, they will throughout their life need to learn that, you know, that it's not always going to manifest in the way that they are planning it to. Ultimately, they have to kind of accept sometimes that even though they are really great at manifestation and they're really great at putting things into motion for them, and even also like they're kind of like the ones who like win at things a lot. Like, so they'll like enter into a contest and they'll miraculously win a lot. And they're just like, oh yeah, I just kind of like, I'm just really lucky. And that's how manifestations might come out for them. But also, you know, they're going to learn the lesson throughout their life that it may not always come about the way they want, the exact way that they want. So they may take that a little harder when things don't go their way. And that's just kind of part of their life lesson and journey. So next we have power. Call upon the elements. Focus your intentions. The greatest dragon is within you. Yeah, manifestation and power coming out at the same time. I feel like they are going to have a lot of power to make a huge impact on the people around them because of how outgoing they are. And kind of, they even like have the ability to really entertain other people and get their like confidence. They're just like likable people, I feel. And they have this like charisma about them. And this is going to give them a lot of power and ability to manifest. So it is important that they are aware of the power that they have over other people, because I feel like they're kind of the people who others will want to be friends with because they just have that charisma and that ability to like draw a crowd and like entertain people, like I said before. So it is important for them to learn that like they have a lot of power and influence, and so it's important how they use that power in order to do good rather than taking advantage of that. But as I said before, very few of them are going to feel that. More than anything, they may feel competitive against other people. But I do feel like, again, like they are going to ultimately be able to kind of rise to the ranks and be that kind of a person. So lastly, we have gratitude. Be grateful for abundance, live in appreciation for what you have, and more good things will come. So when it comes to their manifestation and kind of their life lessons throughout life, I'm seeing for your child that gratitude is going to come into play a lot. And as I mentioned before, they may throughout their lives come into situations where they lose something, or where they're kind of taught a lesson as to, okay, you didn't get what you wanted to get, even though you put all the energy out there, even though they put all this effort out there, they just didn't get into the place they wanted to get into. Like maybe it's the school, or it's the position, or it's the part, you know, whatever that is. They're going to be humbled, and they're going to learn gratitude as part of that humbling. Because ultimately they really are charismatic people, and they really do have a lot to be thankful for and grateful for throughout their life. So they're going to be learning to go back to gratitude and be very thankful for what they have. So a lot of them may actually be, I'm sensing, like very attractive as well, and people are just like drawn into their charisma and their attractiveness. And so when they don't get something, maybe it's like they have to learn to be just grateful for what they do have, and kind of not see the forest for the trees, but look deeper and appreciate the other things in their life. And that is a beautiful lesson that they are going to learn throughout their life. But ultimately, they're going to really just be really fun to have around, and they're probably going to be having a lot of friends, going to parties, that kind of a vibe I'm getting. And also I'm seeing that, you know, if they are the, you know, the creative group, then they're going to probably be like the leader of the creative group. You know, they're definitely going to be an influencer throughout their life. So group 2, that is what I am seeing for your future child. And I hope this reading was helpful to you. I am going to go into further detail, as I mentioned, in the extended reading, which you can find in the description box below. What I have been guided is that this extended reading is going to be a complete walkthrough of your child's spiritual journey, what they are here to learn. We went into some detail here, but it's going to basically play out a major part of their life and how that results in their lessons and their life lessons being learned. So those messages are in the extended reading, but I'm going to end this reading here. Please give this video a huge thumbs up if you did enjoy it. I would love that, and I appreciate so much knowing that you are enjoying my content. Comment down below if this reading was helpful to you. And lastly, if you have not done so already, please subscribe to my channel and join our family of celestial beings. I would love that so much, and while you're at it, hit that notification bell so you are notified every time I post a new video every Monday, Thursday, and Saturday. So that is going to do it for this video. I hope to see you guys back again soon, but bye for now. Hello all my beautiful celestial beings who have chosen pile number 3. I have your pile right here with the red tiger's eye on it. So let us just dive in. Let's not waste any more time. Let's find out what messages we have here for you about your future child. So we have 6 of Wands. We have the Hermit. We have the Knight of Pentacles. And lastly, we have the 5 of Wands. Okay, so group 3. So what I am seeing for your future child is somebody who really maybe takes strides and moves forward through internal spiritual growth and inner reflection. So this child is probably going to have a very, very detailed and robust inner world, and they are going to be the type of person who, when they almost like very into philosophy, because when they see the world, they are going to want to reflect on it inwardly and kind of like know and understand the ins and outs of it. So you may find that they do enjoy their solitary time. They are not shy at all, though. It's more so that they just really value spending time alone, maybe writing a lot. They may be somebody who likes to read and write a lot by themselves, or just kind of engross themselves in their studies. And they also, I do see some of them very connected with nature because of this. They feel like a very deep connection with nature. They have a very creative mind as well. But I'm seeing that they are going to be almost like leaders in sharing their philosophy. And they're going to really take step forwards in their life. They're going to be driven by their inner scholarly world that they are very focused on and into like studying and delving into some of the more like conceptual sides of studies. So they may be very much into philosophy, or they may be into kind of like a international type study, or studying anthropology and things like that, where they want to understand the world they live in better from a very big picture type approach, is what I'm sensing for them. Now, I feel as though they may end up I feel like they're going to be very successful at debate. They're almost going to be very good at getting into philosophical discussions with people where they enjoy debating like concepts, and they enjoy like thinking outside of the box. And this is like, even though this seems like it's going to be almost like they get into arguments a lot, they more so enjoy the thrill of like trying to interact with people in a way that challenges how they normally think about things. So they are very intuitive and very in touch with this side of the world. And as I mentioned before, you may notice that they spend a lot of time by themselves reading and like diving into a subject very deeply. Now, what I am seeing as a potential blockage because of this, which is really just kind of the side of themselves that they have to really keep in check, which everybody has as human beings, but I am seeing that it is a little harder for them to ground themselves and really stay present and be in the moment. So it may be harder for them to like start a project and see it to the end, because they may get easily distracted by other ideas or other thoughts and like other passions that they have. So it's, even though they just like want to fill themselves up with more and more knowledge and research, I see that they can be like procrastinators in the sense that they will they'll start something and then never finish it. So they have a lot of different unfinished projects. So that's something they're going to have to work on. They're also going to have to work on getting used to the mundane aspects of life, like the routine side of things. I'm seeing a lot of them are like an INFP or an INTJ or an IFJ. These are the personality types like that I'm just kind of like sensing from these cards, is like the type of individual who will go into their minds, go into kind of like delving into theories and philosophies, but they kind of hate the mundane side of things. So I have a lot of those types of people in my life who I've run into, and you know, they like to really like analyze a film or kind of like talk about a book and talk about literature. But also when it comes to like, you know, getting a job and going to the routine and doing the same thing every single day, they can get bored with that very easily. So it's going to be challenging for them in that aspects of their life, but they also have a lot to offer. And they may be very successful in certain areas of life. So it's important for them to do something in their career where they're not maybe doing the same thing over and over and over again. And that's really just the general energy I'm seeing around them. But yeah, I am seeing somebody who is very introspective. They like to kind of live in their books or live in the conceptual world. And so kind of like doing all the nitty-gritty detail-oriented type stuff is like going to be more of a struggle for them. It doesn't mean that they cannot do it or they're going to fail in that aspect of their life. Like that's not what I'm saying at all, because we all just have our strengths and we have our weaknesses, and we kind of have to learn how to find a balance somewhere in between. So let us take a look at the oracle cards and see what else they have to say. We have Destiny. It says, acknowledge your mission, align with your purpose. You have gifts to share with the world. I am seeing with the Six of Wands, and I kind of mentioned before, they do have this drive to really share their concepts with the world. But I do feel as though they are the type of person who maybe like a type 4 personality, where they feel as though they have a very specific purpose in this life and they are driven to do something great with how they see their world, because they have a very unique perspective and they are going to bring in a lot of new insights and a lot of new angles to things that we maybe ordinarily overlook. And that is why they have a strong destiny, and they're going to feel this in their life. Now, they may also even be, I'm feeling like they may be light workers who feel as though they have a strong destiny, who they came here to really do specific work on earth to help people. So I am seeing that for some of you guys and your future children, that this is that type of a person where they have like a very strong or deep destiny to heal the world, and they're doing that through the way they see the world. And actually what I'm finding is that with the Five of Wands is some people actually may not be comfortable, and they may actually oppose them a lot because they are bringing into this world some ideas and kind of concepts that other people, it makes other people nervous because it's not the normal, or like it's almost like kind of too out there for people. So they may find that they have a smaller group of friends and people who really understand them. So they may feel like they're not very much understood by the majority of society and that they don't really fit into society. But they can't help but express their opinion, how they're seeing things. And when they express their perspective, they may kind of get into these debates, as I mentioned earlier, where other people kind of feel like they kind of oppose this type of perspective. So they are like a very unique personality type that is really coming across as, you know, somebody who has a destiny to bring this unique perspective and ground it in the world. So next we have Prosperity. Focus on the positive and more good will come. Give thanks for blessings and they will multiply. Prosperity begins in the mind. They really do have this prosperous mind, and I feel that because of that, they are going to bring a lot of success into their lives because of their perspective on the world. But when it comes to like just focusing on money, they're not really into focusing on material wealth per se. Like they're not the type of people who, what I'm getting for many of you guys, they're not the type of people who necessarily are like all about manifesting money per se, but to them, like, their prosperity is going to come from their mind and gaining more knowledge. But because they have a talent in this area, like, they are always going to be prosperous. I feel like that energy is going to just surround them almost like naturally, because they don't put too much weight on the material, but they are fascinated. They're going to go far in their studies. I feel like many of them are actually going to get their doctorate degree, maybe become teachers even in a lot of ways. That's going to keep them excited too, because they're always going to be constantly researching and sharing perspectives and conceptual things with like new generations of people. Wow, I'm really seeing that strongly, as, you know, ultimately down the road they are going to be almost like professors and influential people in that way, where they have a small group who they can talk to about things and have the debates and enjoy, you know, empowering younger people as well. And I feel like for many of them, that is their destiny, is to really have an influence on the newer generations and bringing in these new perspectives and that like kind of like deep thinking that is part of their, just part of kind of their energy, is what I'm sensing. All right, and lastly we have elegance. It is found in the beauty of nature, the lotus waiting to bloom, be the swan on the water and glide. I see with the lotus waiting to bloom and elegance is that because they are so different, they are so unique in their thinking, that they're really going to need some support in their younger years, because it may take a while for them to fully bloom, because they are so focused on working on themselves that they almost feel like an old soul coming in, but they don't feel like they can really fit into society until maybe later on in life. They may feel as though they don't really find their place, and they may struggle a little bit like with finding their destiny. Oh my gosh, I'm getting so strongly, you guys. Like, this message is coming on really energetically strongly, but what I am sensing is that this is the kind of person who kind of goes through life, does a lot of work and inner work, and the whole time really feels like they are moving towards something that they must do, you know, that they are here for a reason, and they're trying so desperately to find that reason. So it almost feels as though they have not bloomed, you know, they can't be their full self. And what ends up happening is later in life they reach that point where they find themselves and they finally like get to a position where they are doing what is in their destiny. But it takes some time, because they actually have to work on themselves and grow and expand. And they may feel like they can't find their flow in this world, because they are kind of very, you know, unique in the way that they think about things. But really what I am seeing is many of them are going to find their destiny and find their purpose and really feel like they are doing what they love. But it almost takes a little longer for these guys to bloom, these types of people to bloom in our society, because they have to find their niche, and they may be a very unique group of people. And so when they find that, it really becomes their destiny and they really shine, and then they're going to find their place, because they're really going to be aligned with themselves. And it's really just a matter of being themselves, you know, being authentic to themselves and not trying to conform or fit to society's expectations. All right, so that message is for you guys, and I hope it was helpful when kind of seeing what your future child is going to be like and kind of what to expect for their life here on Earth as human beings, which is incredible. I do hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give this video a big thumbs up. I am going to continue this reading where I go into a complete Celtic Cross Tarot spread. Now, for this reading, what I have been guided is that these messages, when we do the complete Celtic Cross Tarot spread, are all going to be about the biggest life moment in your future child's life that really almost jumpstarts their expansion or jumpstarts their destiny. So we're going to go into detail about that, and we also will go into some oracle cards as well that I have for you. So that is going to do for this reading. Comment down below if this was helpful to you. You can get to my extended reading in the description box below. There's a link there, so you can head on over there next. Please don't forget to subscribe if you have not done so already, and join our family of celestial beings. And while you're at it, hit the notification bell so you're always notified when I post a new video every Monday, Thursday, and Saturday. So I hope to see you guys back again soon. I love you guys so much, but bye for now. Hello, all of my beautiful celestial beings who have chosen pile number 4. I have your pile right here with the Labradorite stone on it. So let's not waste any more time. Let's dive right into your tarot cards first to learn about your future child. Okay, great. So we have the 4 of Swords. We have the 9 of Swords. We have the Queen of Cups. And lastly, we have Judgment. Beautiful. All right, so you guys, this is my group of really sensitive healers. This is what your future child, the energy surrounding them, is really going to be all about. They are going to be very deep feelers. I'm seeing between the Queen of Cups and also the 4 of Swords. So they are going to often need a lot of time to heal because many of them are going to be empaths. So they may actually need to withdraw a lot to really heal from maybe the pain that they are feeling from others. They could be sensing and taking on the energy of others. So for you guys, it's going to be important to really encourage them to take that time to rest and heal, because otherwise they're going to just kind of keep on taking on that stress. It's going to weigh on them unless they learn how to really deal with that early on, because they just are a deep well of emotion. And this is going to allow them to be very compassionate, very empathetic to other people, but they are also going to be very sensitive in nature. And that is what I am sensing. But what is so amazing about this reading is the Judgment card. These are very spiritual children. They are really going to bring about some major awakening on this planet, and they themselves are going to be awakened beings. I feel like, you know, this may be a lot, but they may seem like very old souls to you. Many of them are going to be like crystal or rainbow children, where they were here as light beings to really bring that to other people, bring awakening, bring enlightenment to other people. And they're actually raising the vibration of the planet by being here, and that is what they set out to do as healers on this planet. Now this is a very big task for them, but I'm seeing like with the Queen of Cups, they are already coming in with divine feminine, strong, mature, divine feminine energy. But what is going to happen when they get here is it is going to be very painful for them to see some of the things that are happening on this planet that are more hurtful. You know, any of the negative things that are happening, they're just not going to understand why. They're going to want to heal everybody. They're going to want to heal the world. And that is, you know, that was their intention to coming here as these light workers. But what is happening is it is going to weigh on them unless they learn as they get older and older. They need to continue to learn and be self-aware of those feelings so that they can heal them. Now I'm seeing for many of them, they are water signs as well, but this doesn't necessarily have to be a water sign. It could just be somebody who is very tapped in to that emotional energy. So they have a water energy surrounding them in that way. 4 of Swords, you know, and the 9 of Swords, they can really feel pain very strongly. They may be highly sensitive people as well, so they may need to really take care of their bodies because they may end up with like chronic illnesses like fibromyalgia, things like that. Now if you are not familiar with what a physical empath is, I did do a complete video on it because I myself do struggle with some of the side effects of being a physical empath. So I did make a video about that, and I also talk about kind of why I am wearing a appliance in my mouth, and that's why it's kind of hard for me to talk sometimes during these readings. So if you're wondering why I have a lisp in these readings, it is because I am wearing an appliance for my TMJ, which is all kind of connected back to being a physical empath as well. So this experience for me, I hope to be helpful for other people. So if you wanted to kind of learn more about what that is, you yourself may also be a physical empath but not even really realize it. So feel free to check that video out. I'll link to it above and also down below in case you're interested. But that is really kind of what I am seeing with this Swords energy is, you know, your future child needs extra support and they may need extra soothing. But that's not because, you know, it's not because there's anything wrong with them. It's just because they are very sensitive, and this is how they are born, and this is what they intended to do when they came into this world. So, you know, don't be discouraged if they are very emotional at times. They may be dealing with more than just their own emotions. They may be taking on the emotions of other people. They may be taking on emotions of the planet. Now, there's nothing wrong with that either, and there is a way to work on that, and as long as they are aware of it to start off with, you know, why they are feeling so deeply and maybe why they are very upset and saddened by some of the things on this planet, if they are prepared for that, then they can live out their life and their life purpose of helping to bring awakening to this planet and to bring love and healing energy to this planet. Then they can do that and they can fulfill that purpose in life. So they're just going to need some help, and they may also, again, they may need time alone to rest. They may need a lot of rest, actually, just more than maybe some of your other children. This future child, if you do end up having other children, but really just anybody else, they may need more rest than other people, and they may end up with chronic things that they may get sick often if they do not rest and if they do not really take care of their bodies. So that is an important message for you guys with your future child moving forward. But they are talented. They may even actually be psychic or intuitive. You know, they may have one of the clairs, and they may be able to strengthen those abilities throughout their life. So I'm seeing them to be really a light worker who has a higher path here on earth. So let us take a look at their oracle cards. Faith. Oh yeah, I'm feeling this energy right now. It's beautiful. It's really light. Like, I'm feeling just like this blinding light energy. Like, they are really healing the planet. Like, that is what they are coming here to do. Believe you are not alone. It says, Spirit is right beside you. Ask for guidance and it will come. They're going to be very strongly connected to spirit guides. And if they are not, it's important to remind them when they are kind of going through a lot of these things to call on their spirits, because they are actually going to be, wow, this is another message coming through really strongly, you guys. This is a message that they have a lot of spirit guides surrounding them, really high vibrational energy. And because they are coming here to do very high vibrational work, they are going to experience some major hardship in their life. They may experience a lot of conflict in their life because they came here to kind of experience some traumatic things in order to transmute it and heal it. Now, that's not for everybody, but many light workers find that when they come to this planet, they experience trauma. You yourself might be a light worker who has experienced trauma for this, but ultimately their faith is a very strong message that they are going to learn while they are here, because they may actually have moments where they are losing touch with their connection to the spirit world because they get so bogged down with some of the negative energy here on the planet that is very low energy. And they're going to need to raise their energy by reaching out to their guides. So this is a very strong ask for guidance and it will come. They need to ask for their guidance throughout their lives, because those spirit guides, they are there helping them through this life. And it is very important that they remain in contact with them throughout so they can do the work that they've come here to do. Next, we have clarity. Banish the fog of illusion. Open your eyes to the truth. Remember the perfection of who you are. Clarity is very strongly coming to me as this awakening, coming to who you truly are. And this is part of the spiritual awakening. I mean, remember the perfection of who you are. This is opening your eyes to the oneness and the truth of who you really are. The I am energy here. And this is what they've come here to do, is to find that clarity for themselves and then bring it and integrate it into the lives of other people. They're integrating that energy into society. So yeah, clarity, like, oh my goodness, they are going to, for some of them, you know, they're going to have to banish the fog. They're going to have to get through the illusion, you know, of the identity that is here for us, that we are clearing for ourselves in order to awaken, in order to find enlightenment. That is their destiny here. They are going to find enlightenment. Ultimately, they're going to find who they truly are. That is their mission here on this planet. All right, you guys. Many of them are going to have a Kundalini awakening. I'm certain of it. Okay. So lastly, we have action. Stop hesitating. Movement creates the magic. Nothing can hold you back. It may be more difficult for them to take action. I'm seeing that they're going to maybe learn how to use energy to take more action because they may be held back a lot. So this is a lesson or even a blockage that they are having on this earth, is to really ground themselves and learn how to take intuitive action, because they're going to start off really in a healing mode once they get to this planet. And so in the beginning part of their life, it is going to be very healing based. So they may have to go through some trauma, they may have to go through some hard life experiences that's going to be difficult for them because they are very sensitive. But really ultimately they are moving towards a place of action and learning how to ground themselves and integrate their awakening into their daily life and making movements and taking action in their guided, through their guidance. So it is important throughout that whole process of when they're taking action and doing things at a higher level, it is important that they connect with their spirit guides for guidance. I am seeing, if you notice with these cards, we have really the heart chakra in the green. We have a blue, a lighter energy here for faith, and white, for faith. And then with action, we really see a red color. So this is telling me that, and I'll show close-ups as well, but this is telling me that, action is all about grounding in the root chakra and the lower chakras that are grounding them with the planet and the earth. And so what I want to kind of say with that as well is it is important for them to ground themselves regularly, and in order to heal, they may actually need to go for healing energy. Actually, I'm seeing some Reiki that they may need to do that regularly to cleanse themselves and reground themselves, but they can also ground themselves in nature. So they may have to reconnect with earth energies often in order to fully ground themselves. Okay, so yeah, so that this is going to be important for them to walk barefoot, in the forest, in the earth, on the earth, in the ground, to really continue to ground themselves throughout this process, because they may come here with high activated chakras, like higher up, and really they're here, they need to integrate that energy into the earth energy, into their root chakras, and through their feet, through the soles of their feet and into the ground. That's what I'm seeing for them as part of their path here. Okay. Wow, you guys, thank you so much for this reading, for connecting with me for this reading. I have so much energy, like I've got the chills right now. So I'm not sure if you guys are feeling that too. Let me know in the comments down below if you can feel the energy of this child and kind of what they are here. I'm getting just the chills from the faith and the judgment card, and really just the connection that I was able to make with you guys and with your future child. So I'm so grateful for these messages. I hope that this was helpful to you as well. Please give this video a big thumbs up if you did enjoy it. And also let me know in the comments down below if it was helpful. I would love to know. I will be continuing this reading in the extended reading that I mentioned at the beginning of this video. And for that extended reading, what we're going to do is we're going to dive into a monumental moment, probably the most monumental moment in your future child's life, and how that affects them and how that is really a turning point in their lives. We're going to leave it up to the universe to decide what is that information that is best for you guys to find out. And it's going to be in that extended reading that is linked in the description box below. And we'll also take a look at some oracle cards as well during that reading to further, confirm some of those messages. So I really hope you enjoyed this. I hope, if you have not done so already, that you will hit that subscribe button and join our family of celestial beings. And of course, while you're at it, hit the notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new video, every Monday, Thursday, and Saturday. Thank you guys so much. I love you so much. Thank you for joining me for this reading. I hope to see you guys back again soon for my next reading, but bye for now.